Welcome to What's Up Wichita. We're here with host Mayor Brandon Whipple. Today, we're here with Workforce Alliance talking about workforce training. If you have a question for the mayor, email it to social@wichita.gov and he'll answer it on next month's show.
Hi, I'm Mayor Brandon Whipple. What's up, Wichita? I'm here with CEO and President of Workforce Alliance, Mr. Keith Lawing. Keith, thanks for being here with us. Really great to chat with you today. We have a lot of folks who I think are going to benefit from the information discussed. I wanted to first just give you a moment. There's some folks who don't know what Workforce Alliance is and
Sure.
exactly what you guys do, so if you can give us somewhat of an overview.
Yeah, definitely, and thanks for having me today, Mayor. Appreciate it. Workforce Alliance, we are what they call a workforce board, which isn't really all that important, but what is important, we run a workforce center at 21st and Amadon, and that is a place where if you're looking for a job, it's the place to go. We help job seekers find work. We offer workshops. We can help you do a resume, get on a computer, apply for a job online. We've got staff that can help an individual with a job search. We can connect people to skills training programs. But the other side of it, we also work with businesses. We work with businesses to post jobs. We screen applicants for businesses. So we're all about making that connection between a person looking for work and a business that's seeking talent.
All right, well, I know that you guys host job fairs. When I first became mayor, we started to see a downturn in the economy with the max being sidelined. During the pandemic, what type of programs have you been offering while we're in this situation where we can't have, I guess, face-to-face job fairs?
Yeah, that's been a challenge, and 2020 has been certainly interesting to say the least. You start with the situation with the 737 MAX that impacted a lot of individuals here in the Wichita area, companies, Spirit and other companies. Again, you were able to see that live job fair. What really this situation with COVID has taught us is to really need to rely on technology. So we literally are doing virtual job fairs where an employer, it's kind of like the Zoom room or Microsoft Teams online, but you can video chat as a job seeker. You can, as a job seeker, look at multiple different employers. So that's one of the tools that we have and we've been using. The next one comes up next week, actually October 27th to the 29th. You can get more information at kansasworks.com for how to sign up for that, but a lot of good job opportunities there. The other side of it is, again, limiting the in-person services. We're doing a lot of virtual services. So we've put some of the workshops that we traditionally would have people come in for, would have an instructor about how to write a resume or how to do an online job search. We're doing those virtually. We put videos up there, and we're offering online webinars and workshops as well.
Oh, wow. So during the COVID crisis, it's not just a health crisis our community is facing, but also an economic one.
Yeah.
The economy is not where it normally is. People obviously are taking safe precautions, not getting out as much. We have about 55,000 Wichitans who have been affected by this, and roughly about 19,000 who might be out of work right now. What would you say, what would be the advice you would give to those Wichitans?
Well, I think for one is try not to get discouraged. I mean, that's easier said than done. It can be frustrating, but if you're looking for work, there are jobs out there. And it might not be the exact job you want to find, but don't give up. So, for example, we put out a daily job posting that you can get on our website, workforce-ks.com, and it's new jobs every day. So if you're looking on a Monday and you don't see a job that you're interested in or qualified for, look back on Tuesday, because there's going to be a new job posted. And so there may not be as many opportunities, but there are definitely opportunities. And to be honest, we're not seeing the number of job seekers that you would expect, considering the numbers that you just gave. I mean, over the 6 or 7 months this year, we have seen about 50,000 plus people get laid off or get furloughed. We certainly have at least 20,000 people unemployed right now. But there are more job openings than we are seeing applicants for. So I would really encourage people to be looking. And there's opportunities out there, whether you were laid off from Spirit as a sheet metal assembler or laid off from a financial services organization as an accountant. There's all sorts of different job opportunities out there in this community.
So I'm just going to take this to a slightly different direction. Let's say I'm someone working and I'm on the sidelines right now because I'm furloughed or laid off, and I got to find a job to bring in some income. Is there a way that I can also participate in some higher education programs or something that will help prepare me for when my original career opens up opportunities while also working a part-time position? And if so, is there programs that could pay for that?
Yeah, there are, and I'm really glad you asked about that, because anytime that the economy has this kind of downturn and you have workers impacted, there are funds out there to help somebody who really needed to get a new skill set or wanted to take this opportunity to go into a new profession, but you need to do that schooling. And so we understand that tuition, books, I mean, those are all costs that are hard to bear, but certainly if an individual comes to the Workforce Center at 21st and Amidon, there are programs that just laid off workers would qualify, and that would pay their books, that would pay their tuition. That would even pay some expenses related to childcare. If you have young children at home and you can't afford a babysitter while you're in class, we can help you with the childcare cost. So yes, various programs available, and we have great educational institutions here in this community, so it's not like you necessarily have to go to school for 2 or 4 years to get a degree. There are credentials, there are certifications in manufacturing, in information technology, even in healthcare, that you could go to school for anywhere from 6 weeks to 6 months and be ready for a brand new career and a great new job opportunity.
So healthcare sounds like a field that's really taken off right now. If I was someone who worked in one industry, and I'm going to use this as a way to pivot and wanted to be go into healthcare industry, could Workforce Alliance help me?
Oh, definitely. And I think when you think healthcare, everybody thinks nurses. Mm-hmm. Well, there are so many more jobs in the healthcare industry than just being a nurse or patient care. There's different levels of patient care. There's respiratory therapist, radiologist, you have physician's assistants, there's occupational therapist, there's medical aides. So if you're interested in healthcare, look at the different opportunities. I mean, I mentioned the job postings. Every day I see multiple job postings from Ascension Via Christi or HCA Wesley, and it really is all across the board. So definitely, and a quick little antidote, I remember many years ago, my father was in the hospital, and this was after the recession in 2010. The occupational therapist who came in there saw my name tag, and he'd been laid off from Cessna. And he was able to go through one of our programs, go to school at Newman, I believe it was Newman, yes, I think it was, to get his occupational therapist license. So he had a whole new career. And those opportunities do exist. So it goes back to the question about, for that individual who is laid off now, or maybe you're working but you want a better job, this is the time to get out there and check out some of those opportunities.
So what if, and I'm thinking back to when my dad was laid off, back in, I think, 2008, 2009, after the last recession. He was someone who had no internet skills. He was a carpenter. He built stuff his whole life. His dream job would have been working at a hardware store, but driving around looking for help wanted signs, that's not the world anymore. Yeah. So people in that situation, they can come to you over at Workforce Alliance, and you guys help navigate them through technology.
Most definitely. And, the scenario you describe is one that we see more often than people would really relate to. And more jobs nowadays, you have to apply online. And you can't go by the Sunday paper and look through the want ads. They're posting their jobs online. So that's some of our workshops. We literally teach people how to look for a job online. And we can help you navigate the internet. We can help somebody set up a Gmail account so they can correspond back and forth. So we definitely don't want to let technology be a barrier to somebody who, once they get that job, you wouldn't have to work on a computer then, but you have to be computer savvy just to be in the applicant pool for a job. That's definitely part of the dynamic we're dealing with here in the year 2020.
And that's, I think you hit the nail on the head there. With someone like my dad, he's worked with his hands his whole life, never had to use a computer, so the idea he would need to use a computer to go get another job in that field, I think throws him at the time and other people off. Now, just as a side note, without these, I think, academic programs that people can qualify for, free tuition even for, what if you're someone who just needs to sharpen skills where, I haven't used Excel for a long time, but I'm interested in this job field over here, and every posting says I need to learn Excel. Do you guys offer programs that can just help folks kind of sharpen their skills to put on a resume, or is all the programs just higher ed?
No, we definitely have specific programs around computer skills. And you are right. I mean, one of the most common job skills employers are looking for is computer basics. I mean, whether it's Microsoft Word, knowing a word processing program, Excel, how to track a database. We offer training for those, and an individual can actually earn a formal certificate recognized by Microsoft at no out-of-pocket cost. It's called Imagine Academy. It's offered through the Workforce Center, and so if anybody wanted more information, if they went to our website, workforce-ks.com, you could get onto that website and you can learn how to get involved in Imagine Academy. It's a self-paced learning program, so you could do it from home, but there's also Tuesday and Thursday, we call it Technology Tuesday, Technology Thursday. We have folks come to the Workforce Center, social distancing, mask required, but then we can have an instructor help set somebody up so they can learn that program. And we've had, in the last 4 or 5 years, we've had almost 200 people earn certifications. Again, no out-of-pocket cost. The only cost is your time and that it takes to earn that kind of certification.
And they're industry recognized. They're not just Keith Long signing off on them. They're actually
through Microsoft itself. So we have the license that they have granted us. Our instructors are trained by them or recognized by them. So it is, you are the real deal if you have that credential, that Microsoft Excel credential. And again, it really does, in a competitive job market, it can make somebody stand out. And I think it gives somebody confidence too. It's easy to get overwhelmed. And even, I learned Excel 12 years ago, okay? It's a little different with some of the upgrades. And so even if maybe you think you know it, but it's been a while, it's a good opportunity for people to get back into it and kind of see what's changed.
Oh, wow. So you mentioned a website. If people want to get in touch with Workforce Alliance or get more information, also, you guys are on social media. Could you speak to that so that...
Yeah, we're easy to find. We try to make ourselves as easy to find as possible. Physically, we're located at 21st and Amidon there in the New Leaf Shopping Center. Phone number 771-6800. Very easy to find, but we're all over social media as well. We have a Facebook page. We connect with people through Facebook, so you can find us on Facebook if you would like information about our services. Again, our website as well. And we do have limited in-person services now, and if you do call and there's a voicemail, we will get you called back as quickly as possible. We're very committed to customer service and trying to support our friends and neighbors as they navigate this crazy labor market we're in right now.
Right. And Ms. Long, I want to thank you for being here. Going back to my dad, he was someone who always says work smarter instead of working harder, and it seems like utilizing your services as a tool for folks who are looking for a job right now or looking for advancement in their career is the smartest way to go. So thank you for everything you and your team do, and the service you provide for our community here in Wichita.
Well, appreciate it, Mayor. Thank you for your leadership, and really appreciate you having me down. Always enjoyed chatting with you.
Of course. Well, thank you.
It's campaign season, and we want to make sure that you know where to properly display signs in your yard. Be sure to place signs in your yard and out of the public right-of-way. Placing them in the public right-of-way can make it difficult for drivers to see, and it does not comply with the City of Wichita's sign ordinance. For houses without sidewalks, please place signs 18 feet from the curb. No matter who you support this campaign season, please help us keep our community safe and beautiful.
The City of Wichita's mask ordinance expired Wednesday, October 21st. However, Wichita will continue to fall under Sedgwick County's emergency public health order, which requires the use of masks. That means if you live in Wichita, we are still under a mask mandate, and masks are required to be worn in public spaces. You can learn more about Sedgwick County's mask requirements and exceptions on their website at sedgwickcounty.org. The city will continue to share news related to COVID-19 at wichita.gov/coronavirus.
Have you ever wondered about the jobs that keep our city moving behind the scenes? Head over to our city YouTube page. youtube.com/City of Wichita 455 for some inside looks into the jobs that keep Wichita running. This month, we're highlighting our hard-working transit maintenance workers.
Hi, Vice Mayor Cindy Claycomb here today at our great transit maintenance facility. And I'm here today with Greg Ringgold, who is our general maintenance supervisor. And so we're going to talk about some of the behind the scenes things today at the transit center. So Greg, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate you letting me visit here.
Glad you came by.
Yeah, thanks. So tell us a little bit about what a typical day is like here at the transit maintenance facility.
Well, a typical day, we service 56 buses, 27 paratransit vans, 10 support vehicles, 3 buildings, hundreds of bus stops, and 70 shelters. So we have our hands full quite a bit with a crew of 17 people.
Greg, when buses come in, how often do they have to come in to be serviced?
The big buses come in every 6,000 miles, and the little paratransit vans are done every 4,000 miles. Typically, we perform 350 bus PMs a year, 270 paratransit van PMs a year, 600 pieces of equipment PMs a year, plus we do the shelters out there weekly.
So you know we have these new battery-powered electric buses now. Exciting to have those on the street. But how is your service for those different than servicing just our regular diesel buses?
Well, one of the coolest things about it is we have a lack of a drivetrain. So we have no diesel engine, we have no oil changes, we have no lubrication, no cooling system problems. So all of that stuff related to diesel engines is gone. The transmissions, there's no services there because electric engine propulsion is just an electric motor hooked to a rear axle. So very simplified in that respect. Now, the knowledge that's required to work on them, that's a whole different story, but our vendors are fantastic at giving us great trainers that are coming in here and making sure that we're handling these high voltage animals very carefully, and so it's working out extremely well. It is less maintenance overall. It takes less to maintain an electric bus than it does a diesel bus. So we're looking forward to it. We're excited about it, and all of my guys are loving it. So it's great to bring in new technology. It's gratifying. It's a challenge. It's something new.
What other kind of challenges do you just have on working on buses?
Typical challenges is sometimes tools break and then we wind up not being able to fix a bus because of a broken tool. Sometimes parts availability out there since COVID-19, we're having a hard time procuring parts and keeping them up and running that way. Sometimes we're making parts, we're fabricating parts. We always try to find a way around it. We take pride in the fact that we always have enough buses out there on the street. We've never been short. So that's kind of a great pride thing for these guys. They'll bend over backwards to meet that goal. The electric buses, the challenges there is just making sure that we stay on the safe side of everything as we are learning how to work on them.
So Greg, thank you for letting us come and visit with you today. I really appreciate it. I always love to come to the transit maintenance facility. It's great.
Our pleasure.
Yes, thank you. And I want to encourage you to watch our city spotlights. Other council members are going to go out to other parts of the city and do behind the scenes looks at city jobs.
So, Mayor, we have some questions from the community. Some of them came through our social@wichita.gov email address. Some of them came through Facebook, and some of them were posted on news articles. Some things that people might not understand or just want more information about. So, you ready?
Well, awesome.
Okay. Number one, with COVID numbers rising, is it possible our community will face another shutdown like we did this past summer?
That's a really good question, and to be honest, I'm a spectator when it comes to those type of orders. Those orders would come from the top health professional over at the county, Dr. Mins. So the city usually follows what the county's doing as far as those health orders. With that said, my opinion moving forward is we will likely see see a bump. We're expecting a bump, and we're hearing that from our hospital community. A lot of that has to do with people coming inside, coming indoors, people not being outside. Outside dining is obviously not going to be here where it's cold.
Yeah.
But also, family gatherings. We have some holidays coming up, and sadly, we find folks when they're around people they're comfortable with take off their masks to get a little closer, and you wind up with your guard down, and we see a spike in the numbers. So we likely will see a spike. I think it would have to be something extreme to go back to the measures that were taken in the beginning of the year. Remember, in the beginning of the year, we didn't realize how effective masking was. When it comes to containing this, we can slow down the spread with masks alone. So hopefully, from those at the county level and at the state level and the federal level, hopefully the decisions made to address shutdowns won't be ones that will have to be made.
Yeah. Your time as mayor has been so different because you were immediately faced with the pandemic. So I'm sure a lot of your plans got put on hold. After we're done getting through the pandemic, what are your plans for Wichita?
Plans for Wichita, really, once we get beyond the pandemic, to be honest, we need to be focused on the economy and focusing on opportunities for people in our community to stay and thrive. So for the economic perspective, we are kind of laying down the planks, I guess, for our path forward, and that starts today. We don't wait until until COVID is at bay until we start fixing the economy. We did an overhaul of our incentives policy to target small business and small business growth. As we know, 40% of Americans either work for or own a small business, and it's a growing sector. And also, as we know, when people are faced with adversity, when they are, let's say, furloughed or even laid off, a lot of times that's the pivoting moment when people go and start a small business. So we want to be small business friendly. Also, we need to make sure that we are going to take advantage of what that next economy is going to look like once COVID is at bay. We're going to be in, maybe a Zoom economy, right? Where we're learning and we're seeing that people can work from home, and big companies that invested a lot in their buildings now won't be having the traditional office space. So what can we do here in Wichita to these to these companies that might be in different cities to say, hey, you can hire Wichitans through Zoom, through working at a distance, and try to get those jobs to Wichita without moving a company to Wichita or without moving more people to Wichita. We got folks who are graduating from one of our world-class universities here in Wichita who want to work for a Fortune 500 company, so they feel like they need to move out of Wichita for that. We might have some opportunities to actually get those jobs here in Wichita, so you are working for that top company, but you could do so while enjoying this incredible city.
Perfect, awesome. And how would you like to see Wichita change during your time as mayor?
As far as change goes, I would like to see just kind of reversal of I think some of the negative, I guess, numbers walking in, right? Where we are seeing a high amount of young people 45 and under, who are leaving our community for opportunities in other cities. And really, I get it. That's the age category where people really lay down roots, and you have kids. Your kids go through K through 12, and that's your top earning years. And I don't want us to ever lose to Des Moines, Iowa, to Oklahoma City, to Tulsa, to Kansas City. So when Wichita is compared to those big Midwestern cities, which a lot of times we are compared to, I want us to be doing better when it comes to opportunity, when it comes to job growth, when it comes to community safety, when it comes to a quality of life. So my goal is to actually, obviously, leave the mayorship and leave Wichita, or my position, where Wichita is better off than it was when I got here. And I think the way to measure that is going to be, how do we compare it to some of the other cities that at one time Wichita actually was seen as doing better than.
Yeah. Now, talked a little bit about coming into your mayorship. Looks a little bit different now than probably what you expected.
Right. I thought I was going to have an office with a window. Yeah. But The coronavirus and economy also, I think, took
Yeah.
a turn from what I expected.
So, Mayor, your kids are learning from home right now, aren't they? How are you balancing that with being mayor?
Well, I mean, to be honest, they're doing a lot better than I think I'd be doing. AJ, kids are interesting, right? AJ's my 7-year-old. He's starting first grade. And we were really, like I think most parents, sad at the situation where numbers weren't down to the point where it was safe for in-person schooling. But then you look over and AJ knows it's school time. He wakes up on that first week excited, gets dressed, gets downstairs into like his office, which is like a spare bedroom with a setup. And he actually has been doing really well. Obviously, we should look into like sanctifying all teachers, right? Like this poor teacher has to deal with a Zoom meeting of all first graders, and she's doing a great job. And you know they're adapting to it. So kids are really resilient, particularly in I think tough times. AJ is learning from school. Chelsea and I are blessed where Chelsea can actually do a lot of her work from home and kind of monitor the other two and have AJ still be successful. And in my job, although I'm here, I can come home if I need to.
That's awesome. All right, well, that's all the questions that we have today. Thank you so much for answering those.
Oh, of course. Thank you, Megan. Thanks for watching this episode of What's Up, Wichita. If you have a question, you can also reach out to me on social media or email me at bwhipple@wichita.gov. You can also email social@wichita.gov, and I will answer any questions submitted at our next month's show.